a structured, unbending, unyielding system. A method to the madness, albeit somewhat irrational. Hundreds of years of molding young minds. Decisions are made in those ivory towers, often by rote, because this is the way things have always been done. Distant from reality, distant from those it impacts. Shared governance often forgets the expertise it takes to make it real. That technical expertise is found in the basement of buildings. No windows, no doors, no way out. No connection to the people out there. Those basement decisions shape a student's experience far away from where the teaching is supposed to take place. Flashes of inspiration like moonbeams hit the desk, spurred on ideas to change the world. Spurred on, but oh, if only, brilliant ideas drowned out by the fires of daily life. Forces at work that work against innovation. Time is the enemy. Back-to-back meetings, pressures from all sides, efficiencies and costs become the motivating factors. And the maintenance of the status quo prevents from forward movement. Say yes to the demands of administration, and then hear no for your request over and over again. I need you to upgrade the infrastructure. Yes, we can do that. Can I have more money? No. I need you to have longer service hours. Yes, we can do that. Can I have more personnel? No. I need you to start 10 more major projects. Yes, we can do that. Can I have more time? No. Marshmallow-like qualities as we mold into what we should be. Malleable, but solid most of the time. They call it flexibility. We call it frustrating. The inspiration is found in the young 22-year-old's eyes, driven by their passion, their enlightenment, their fire, their enthusiasm, not yet tampered by bitterness. We forget so often they are why we do this. They are the reason we struggle each day. You can find that inspiration through a walk of graduation shows. Read their words, see their art, view their crafts. We are part of the foundation of their college experience. It's not just the community service or the social activities or even the classroom, but the totality of who they become so that they can reinvent the world for the better. So, in the spirit of trying to reinvent today, I tried to reinvent a little bit of our keynote speech. And of course, I forgot my entire favorite part of the whole thing. So I'm going to do that just because I really like that part. This is very hard to do. And I have memorized it within 48 hours, so that was pretty good. Maybe, just maybe, one of these kids can change the world if we give them just the right digital tools. Every tool, every system, every bit, every byte are the nuts and bolts necessary to solve the problems that overwhelm us. We are a part of the foundation of their college experience. Not just the community service, the social activities, or the classroom, but the totality of who they become so they can reinvent the world for the better. So in really trying to capture the idea of today, we wanted to really look at all of these things that you talked about. In the unconference, the amount of ideas that came out were fantastic. And in the sessions today, you heard all of these ideas that came out from each other. And hopefully you were able to connect with new friends, with new vendors, with new relationships. And the whole point of all of this is because we need each other in all of this. So I want to give you 3 more concrete ideas to take away today, to really help you sort of bring this all home. And that if you forget everything else that you learned, and forget the part that I actually screwed up, to remind you what all this is about, and that is our students. And we do this, and I've spent the last few days doing this because I do care about the students, and I do care. And when I was writing this and trying to decide what to even talk about today, in the middle of all of that, I actually went to a graduation show and watched some of our students work. And as I stood there and really realized what was happening and watching them present their culmination of the last 4 years, it really brought it home to me. This is why we do this. And this is why we put up with all of the frustrations and all of the malleabilities that we have to have. And the fact that we don't have all of the resources that we want. And we don't have everything that we need necessarily to do our jobs. We simply do it because there are some students out there who possibly can change the world. And if we can help build those foundations, then we've done our job. So in these 3 things, the first thing is really about something you've heard many times before. This is a big buzz phrase that we've heard at a lot of conferences, and it's not about the technology, right? It's not about the tech. Depending on what conference you go to, it could be about the learning. It could be about the experience. It could be about the process. It's a lot of things it's about, but it's not about the technology. But today, I want to challenge you in a different way. It's not about the technology, it's about the people. And not only do we do this for the students, but it's about the people that you work with, that you work for, and that you connect with at places like this. EduSoCal was, as Michael said this morning, was really built from us recognizing that we need connections with each other. And in a world where online conferences are becoming more and more important and cheaper to do and easier to do, to put on days like this are vital, because as I look out over this room, 2/3 of you I actually know personally, and you impact my life on a regular basis. And that makes this worth doing, because I know if I have one of those frustrating days, I can call you, right? I know you're an email away to help me get through something. And if you don't feel that way, that's why you need to stay through the reception, okay? Trust me, sharing a beer with somebody changes your relationship with them. Those relationships help keep the perspective of what we're doing in place. But it's also about the people that you work with. If you're fortunate enough to be able to hire people, who you hire is way more important than any other decision you make. And as we heard in one of the sessions today, and it takes forever, right? But if you hire the wrong people, it doesn't matter what your organizational structure looks like, because you can't meet your goals if the wrong people are in place. So the ideal structure doesn't matter unless you have the right people. If you aren't in a place where you get to choose that, choose who you get to work with. If you're in a place where you feel unappreciated and that things aren't going right, move, literally. Because you need to be able to give back to a place where you're feeling like you're giving to the students or to whatever you think your mission is. It's important that the people you work with are part of a team. So with that, this is the attitude to have. Let's talk about two practical ways that you can implement this. So the first is use the systems you support. So it's not about the technology, but if it's got to be about the technology, use the systems you support. How often do we actually bring up systems and we actually never use them? We may create some great FAQs, some tutorials, maybe even do a fancy video now and then. We offer workshops that nobody comes to, right? But do we actually use those systems? Are we using our learning management system? When was the last time you registered for a class like a student? When was the last time you actually went through the same grading process that a faculty member goes through? It's really important that we connect with the way that our end users use the system, because if not, if they're not good enough for us, why are we giving them to them? Have you ever been in a meeting where you're talking about, hey, this system they put up 3 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, God, I can't believe they did it this way. Who would have come up with these structures? Why did they connect these systems like this? This doesn't make any sense. Guess what? Somebody in 3 to 5 to 10 years is going to do the same thing for the systems you're doing. It's not about the tech, but if you got to put the tech up, make sure that you're actually making it worthwhile. If you ask one of your system administrators what his job is, does he say that he supports blank system? Or does he say that he supports the people that use that system? Even if he's not on direct help desk calls, he still supports those people. And if we're not creating that kind of culture, then we're missing what we're actually doing. So the last thought is learning to connect with your students. We do this for the students, and yet we make these decisions from basements. And we forget to actually include those students in these conversations. Many of you probably do student surveys, right? How often do we take that information and turn it back into real, usable information? Do we actually say, oh, we're actually not addressing a need that they have. Let's fix that. Or do we only look for it to see how good we're doing? And if we're doing okay, we're like, oh, great, 70% satisfaction. What about the other 30%? How do we fix that? When was the last time you did a student focus group? Pizza works wonders, I swear, they come, okay? They will tell you anything you want to know if you feed them. Students are brilliant. They have these amazing ideas on how to change the world. If we could learn how to tap into that and use that as we mold all of these systems, we would really be able to change how we do IT on campuses. What's amazing is there are students who are computer engineers and entrepreneurial marketing students, graphic design students on our campuses. Are they helping us create our systems? We should be co-creating with those students, not keeping them at a distance and hoping that they don't see our inadequacies, right? We want for them to be a part of this. So I challenge you, make sure you're hiring them, make sure you're talking to them, make sure that they are part of your process and that you are co-creating this world with them. So finally, because I know that I am between you and alcohol, I want to leave you with one final personal story. And part of why I decided to do today the way I did. A few days ago, I had early morning cuddles with my nearly 3-year-old daughter, who you see there. And I told her, I have to get up soon because I have to go running. And she looks at me and says, why, Mama? I said, because I'm trying to stay healthy so that I can live a long time and be around for you. And I apologized to her that I've been working really hard lately. She looks at me and says, "Why, Mama?" And I said, "Because I want to give you a fantastic life so that you can change the world." And she looked at me with all the love and sincerity of a toddler can muster and said, "Are you changing the world, Mama?" And I said, "In every small way that I can." So think big, reinvent, and start small.